Sad news today, an executive fired by Apple over a viral TikTok video was found dead in his home in Santa Monica at the age of 68. It's suspected self-asphyxiation. Many of you guys may remember Tony Blevins, who was caught in one of those TikTok videos where they say, "What do you do for a living?" So he was at a car show and he answered reciting some sort of line from an 80s film called Arthur for comedic effect. Well, it wasn't really well received. Let's watch.
Good sir, your car's awesome. What do you do for a living?
I race cars, play golf, and fondle big-breasted women. But I take weekends and major holidays off.
Okay. That is quite the career. I'm looking to get into that.
You know, the only real crime here is that lady's obnoxious laughter in the background. As I mentioned, this was supposed to be a quote from a film, but that's not how it was received. And Tim Cook swiftly ended this guy's 22-year career via email. Friends and family say Tony Blevins lived and breathed Apple. Many agreed that Apple wouldn't be the company it is today without the help of Blevins over the course of those 22 years. Apple, the company that supports the genocidal Chinese government and helped it suppress protest against its draconian lockdowns. Apple, the company that has its products built in China by subcontractor Foxconn, that has a history of atrocious working conditions for its workers. Apple demands absolute loyalty from its employees, but gives none in return. Now, if you for 1 second think that Apple really cared about what he said, you're naive. The reality is they're trying to prevent scandals. They're trying to sell more products. And if they get the idea that by firing somebody, they're going to sell more iPhones, then it will do it immediately. And it doesn't matter for what. And that's the reality. This is happening to so many companies. But soon they're going to realize that people do not respect this sort of thing. People do not see what he said and believe that he should have been fired, that his life should have been ruined, and ultimately that he killed himself. Although, you know, him taking his own life is not, of course, Apple's fault, but it is a sad side effect of this kind of thing. You can't take people's life's work away from them and expect nothing to happen. And I just wish it was for a good reason. Now, the tides are turning. Just like Disney and other companies are losing money over their woke policies and quick to pull the trigger and fire people, so are other companies. People respect honesty, frankness, and they respect companies that stand up for their employees. Customers maybe should come first, of course, but second should be your employees. Here's the thing. That guy was off the clock. He was on his personal time. Now, I understand if he had posted some scathing comments, some anti-Semitic, I don't know, who knows what on his social media, that's a right to fire. But this wasn't his social media. Somebody just recorded him without his consent, really, telling a joke. And next thing you know, he's getting fired over this. But we're going to see more and more of this happening. And companies, and I don't know what's going on in Tim Cook's mind if he thought that this was going to be a good PR for him. I'm telling you, this is going to be everywhere. And I bet you anything, the family is going to sue for wrongful death or something. It's going to be all over the news, and it's not going to look good for Apple. And I hope that this marks some sort of turning point where people think, you know, it's so funny because the liberal Dems are all about work security, right? And respecting the workers' rights, all this stuff, unless it's something they disagree with. Unless it's the ability to fire people who don't agree with you, then liberals are all for that, and they don't see a problem with what happened with Blevin. It is hypocrisy. You can't have it both ways. If you want workers' rights and worker protections, and it makes it harder to just fire people on a whim, then you can't just fire people on a whim that you disagree with. I'm sick of seeing this, and I think there's going to be a huge backlash. Like I said, legally with the family suing, and hopefully it's going to be a trend reversal with other companies, you know, standing behind their employees. This idea the customer is always right could not be further from the truth. You know, seeing things like that, it just ruined my day seeing that. Because I remember the guy, I saw that TikTok when it came out, and I thought it was a real injustice, and it just really makes me sad seeing how it all ended. But thank you guys for tuning in. What do you think? As always, buy red and sell green.